Ooh, what's up? Internet, my name's David Webb.
I'm Ariel Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you. You're ridiculous.
I am ridiculous. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If that was your
Just
first
wanted
Nerdy
to put that
Nightly
out
intro and you stayed, thank you. We appreciate it. I try and do it different every time to get my wife here to laugh. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But usually it works.
Yeah, usually. Mm-hmm.
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, it's another morning. It's a Thursday show.
It is a Thursday
edition.
show. That's right. Welcome back to the Nightly Morning Show. The only morning show
Ever.
No, the only morning show in this time slot on Twitch, I hope. If you want to watch this live, we do it every Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
Mm-hmm.
We also stream games there, as well as over at twitch.tv/
Claris Dracaris.
That's right. And you can check me out streaming later today. I'm going to be playing more Cyberpunk. But that was a little segue to get to the point to say you were playing some Cyberpunk yesterday.
I was.
And I want to know what do you think of the game so far?
Oh boy. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of mixed feelings about Cyberpunk right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like strictly just to do with the game. Like nothing. You know, I know there's a lot of controversy around it doesn't work and blah 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 and like that kind of thing. I am finding it a really tough game to stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is so vast, it is so complicated. I don't play a ton of games like that unless I'm already familiar with them. Like Skyrim is like kind of big open world, but it's not as overwhelming as Cyberpunk is. Like at the end of my first stream, I was in the middle of a fight and couldn't didn't beat it, and I was like, guys, I gotta get off. Sorry, I saved, and then I left, and then came back to it, and then I did it. I beat the fight. It took me a few tries, but I was like, cool, I got this. I feel like I kind of understand a little bit more, and then I went on to the next part of the game, and it was like, where you're gonna learn this whole mechanic for brain dances and switching between audios and rewinding and fast forwarding and like just like another dump of information.
Yeah. And
I was like, this is too much for me. I was like, okay, guys, that's me for today. I'm done. I'm out. Like, I just, it's a lot. And it wouldn't be, I don't think it would be, I don't think it would be the same feelings if I wasn't streaming it. And, I might actually play Cyberpunk off stream for a little while so I can get used to the game. Because right now I'm being a bad streamer. I can't keep up with chat. I'm not being interesting or entertaining because I'm literally like staring at my screen.
There's a lot of
read.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't call myself like a fast learner, especially with things like these. What?
I wouldn't call myself a fast learner. Is a pretty good self-own there, babe.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I can figure it out. It just takes me some time.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not always the most interesting thing to watch on stream. So I love what they've done with the game. I think it's fascinating. I think the mechanics are really interesting, but it's been tough to play with an audience.
That's fair. I mean, y'all know, I've mentioned on this show many times, and obviously I've streamed it. I love the game. Mm-hmm. But I also think that I play more games like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel less overwhelmed probably just because I'm more used to shooters. I think that like if you were more comfortable with the mechanics of the combat, it wouldn't feel as overwhelming.
The closest thing I probably played was when I got Outer Worlds, and I played it, but it's kind of like a much less complicated version.
Yeah.
Of the game. I also want to say, Rebels, like, you learn Subnautica really fast, but it is definitely a very different kind of game. Mm-hmm. That, like, survival exploration is not as complicated as learning a bunch of different skill trees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's no driving in Subnautica, so you're better at it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I also can't drive in the game. I think I've murdered like 3 people already.
3?
I think only
I think there was one time you pulled up on the curb that you murdered 3 people.
I thought I was only 2. I mean, yeah. It's and I want to be clear, like, it's nothing against the game. I think what they've done is really, really cool. Their ideas are amazing, but it's just been a lot for me to play on stream.
That's fair.
So I think I'm going to take some time and play it by myself.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep playing it on stream because all I want to do is play this game right now. It's literally all I want to do. And you know what? I was like, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is all I want to do. And this game quickly supplanted that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, Valhalla? Who's she?
Who is Valhalla? I've not turned on Valhalla in over 2 weeks. Or a week and a half. I've not turned the game on.
Wow.
Because I'm cyberpunked. I am a cyberpunk, y'all. But we have so much news to get to today. Do you want to jump in the news? Do you have any other thoughts about that you want to throw in there before we jump?
No. I think that pretty much sums it up. Unfortunately, like, I know we talked about... I haven't seen a single dildo in the game. I just want to point that out.
She's playing post a patch. I think the dildos have been patched out.
Okay.
Some of them. Like, there's still dildos in, like, the sex shops and stuff like that. But.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them.
All right. Before we go too far down that road again. China. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, y'all. China tightens censorship after Monster Hunter scandal, delays release of hit anime Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer previously came out in Japan earlier this year. We talked about it because it was the highest grossing film in the history of Japan for an opening weekend, which was huge because it happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But, Japan, they've got their crap together mostly. Their movie theaters are
They've got it figured out.
The country's film administration has called back previously approved imported films for a second censorship review as they face pressure to avoid another controversy. Now, this is after the Chinese joke in the Monster Hunter movie that we previously talked about on the show that was really dumb and a huge mistake.
Yeah. Honestly, just really stupid.
Yeah. It's not a good joke. It's really just there was no reason for it. And now the Chinese market is going to be tightening its belt even further. The Chinese censorship board has been fairly strict with movies in the past.
Yep.
And there's reasons why certain movies never released there. The original Star Wars films never released in China, which is a problem for Disney now as they're trying to market the new Star Wars films and they're struggling with that. And, there are certain kinds of things that the Chinese market doesn't allow, certain kinds of magic, time travel, stories that you're not allowed to tell in front of a Chinese audience, and your film will not play in the Chinese cinemas because of them. Yep. Elizabeth says, really, why Star Wars? Star Wars wasn't actually... Star Wars came out before this whole censorship process. Star Wars came out in a time when American films did not play in China. Because of their isolationist policies.
Right.
So that's a slightly more complicated thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like this Monster Hunter movie, which currently does not have good reviews.
Nope.
Is not fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. We talked about the Rotten Tomatoes score for Wonder Woman. I haven't seen Rotten Tomatoes say that they've certified the Rotten Tomatoes score, so I don't want to talk about the specific score yet until they have enough reviews. But as of what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's going to get there. IGN called the movie awful and gave it a 3 out of 10. So this movie that is, according to some critics, and I'm going to go see it for myself at some point, but according to some critics, not good, might make it harder for American films and foreign films to make money in China.
Yep. That is pretty crappy, I'm not going to lie. You could have at least made a decent product for the results, but nope, it had to be a bad movie and also screw people over. So, well done. You really accomplished something.
I mean, it might not be a bad movie. We might enjoy it. There are some critics who are also saying that it is big, dumb fun. So, if the fun is there, I might enjoy the action sequences.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm not a huge, big, dumb, fun movie person. Like,
I know.
Yeah, I just, it's gotta have something else to it. So I think we're gonna try and see it.
Yeah, we're gonna
so we can talk about it. But
if there's an option for us to, there might not be a way for us to see it.
Yeah,
legitimately.
I'm just not that excited.
I am
for it,
but I just want to see a Rathalos.
Fair enough. I also don't have any connection to the Monster Hunter games.
Yeah. As the... I'm going to force you to do a Monster Hunter stream in January. I'm going to be like, you have to play this game.
Which one? World?
Maybe. Or maybe one of the Switch ones, because Monster Hunter Rise is coming out next year, and I saw a trailer for it, and it looks really good.
All right.
Monster Hunter Rise looks really fun.
All right.
As the Chinese market becomes the largest box office in the world, though, this is the kind of move that Hollywood people do not want to see.
No.
They do not want to see them tighten their belts. They don't want it to become any harder for them to release their movies in the largest movie watching market in the world, especially going into a 2021, because this might only be a short-term change, right? But even if it's a short-term tightening of the belts, China's the only place to make money right now. Yeah. And if American films can't make money in China right now, there's no domestic box office for them to make money in.
Or if they, if they have to cater towards a Chinese audience to make money and be released there, or censor their movies in some ways, that does not bode well for the arts in general, but obviously the movie industry moving forward.
Well, I mean, look what happened with the Transformers movies, right? Like, how much of those films ended up being made to cater the Chinese audience, and how noticeable it was, and how the Chinese audience stopped showing up for it because they felt pandered to. Yeah. And like, it's a tough line to walk to both make a product for a specific audience and bring them to the theaters without being like, this is for you, you have to come. And I feel like Hollywood has struggled at times to make that work. And I'm curious to see how they're going to do with that moving forward. 2021 looks to be a difficult year for movies, but the movies are still coming out. We are still going to be getting some movies coming out. We actually have a release date for the Daisy Ridley Tom Holland movie Chaos Walking that we saw the trailer for. We didn't watch that live, but we've seen the trailer for it.
We have?
Yeah, we watched it. It's the one where... did you not watch that with me? Oh, it's great. Tom Holland lives on this planet that's only men, and all their thoughts are like projected around their head. And Daisy Ridley is a woman who crashes to Earth, and she's the only woman, and she doesn't have this like projection of her thoughts. And so it is about this world where Tom Holland is trying to protect her from the other men who want to essentially use her because she's the only person who can lie.
Interesting.
Yeah, the trailer looks great. That movie is going to be coming out in theaters and IMAX on March 5th, 2021.
March 2021. Wow, that's pretty soon.
Yeah. Wow. Very excited. Okay. That is a film I'm very excited to see. Daisy Ridley, in the wake of Rise of Skywalker, gave an interview saying that she initially had a hard time finding work after Rise of Skywalker. In an effect that sort of happens to actors and actresses when they're in the biggest thing. Other franchises become wary of putting them in their thing. Especially when it's like not that good, Well, I mean, that's debatable. But Daisy Ridley, I'm hoping that this is a role that is going to help her break out of the Rey archetype and give her more diversity, because she really, I really loved her in the train movie, Orient Express. I thought she was really excellent in...
She was on Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah.
She was?
Yeah. She's in that movie.
I do not remember her at all.
What? Yeah, she's like one of the stars of that movie. They leaned... and that's when Josh Gad and her were doing the whole Star Wars thing on set, where he would like ask her questions, and then it became like viral on the internet. That Josh Gad was like hounding her on the Orient Express set for Star Wars spoilers.
Oh, no, I do not remember that at all for some reason.
That's so funny. Because you said that you really like that movie.
I love that movie. I think it's great. I just, for some reason, I'm like, I just can't picture it. I'm sure as soon as I pull up a picture, I'll be like, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, when I pictured that movie in my head, she's one of the first people I think of.
No, for me, it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does look... that movie will not be coming out on any streaming service. Sorry, Warner Brothers. No one is following you in that march to hell.
Thank God.
That movie will be coming out on March 5th in theaters and in IMAX, which I'm very curious about because the visuals are interesting. So that might be a film I want to see in IMAX.
Yeah. Here's my hope for her. I think she's good. Like Daisy Ridley is very talented. I hope, like, as you're describing the premise of this movie to me, I hope they don't give her another Mary Sue role, because that's not going to help her break out of that trope. Like, that's not going to help her career.
What do you mean by Mary Sue role?
Like the Mary Sue is the person who can kind of just do anything. They just are like, they accomplish the tasks that they need to accomplish without like real consequences. And a lot of people, that was a big criticism of her character in Star Wars sequels, and one of mine as well. And the premise of that movie to me sounds like that is a possibility. And so it makes me nervous.
If you saw the trailer, I don't think you'd think that.
Okay,
because she seems kind of useless.
Okay, cool.
She seems it's almost like she's the MacGuffin.
Interesting. Okay, like, I'm here for that.
She doesn't seem very capable of doing anything in the trailer.
Great.
So I'm excited to see her become helpful.
Cool.
Because for the most part, it looks like the only thing that's interesting about her is that she doesn't project her thoughts to the people around her.
Right.
Okay,
cool.
We'll have to see the movie. I'm not sure I agree with your definition of what a Mary Sue is, but I think that we're coming at it from different places. Isn't
the definition of a Mary Sue like a character
a Mary
who can
Sue
just accomplish?
No, a Mary Sue is when a writer in fan fiction writes themselves into the story so that they can interact with the characters. That the fan, like from my early days in the fan fiction worlds of fanfiction.net, a Mary Sue character is literally when someone like writes themselves in.
Huh. And
I think that like, yeah.
No, it's a type of female character who's depicted as unrealistically lacking in flaws or weaknesses.
I mean, I think it maybe became that, but when early fan fiction days, when we were still trying to figure out the internet, all it meant was like, oh, you wrote yourself here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see how those things would tie into one another.
Or how it would, how my version early on would warp into a later version of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, interesting. Everyone else has this like new version of it. That's so interesting. Wiki says both. That's fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes sense to me.
When we were first,
that those definitions would fit together.
When I was first like in the fanfiction world of Harry Potter, when I was an emotional teenager, Mary Sue literally was just like what you would call a story if like the author clearly put themselves in so that they could date Draco Malfoy. You know what I mean? And that was the term that was bandied about.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's you called her Mary Sue, and I was like, Ray isn't really a Mary Sue. Like, I wouldn't say that J.J. Abrams thinks of himself as being a slightly British white woman.
No, that is totally fair. I can see how you were confused.
If J.J. Abrams had put like a skinny Seth Rogen in the movie as a Jedi, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's kind of a Mary Sue character. Yeah. J.J. Abrams just put himself in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to watch the trailer to this movie. I'm excited.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm sorry, I thought we'd watch that together.
That's okay.
Y'all, in other movie news, this almost could have been our title story, honestly, but it's a rumor, so I didn't. Well, it will be the title story when this is official, but this is a rumor currently coming from the Diz Insider Show. Hosts Skylar Schuler and Derek Cornell are claiming that Marvel Studios has already officially extended the Spider-Man deal with Sony Pictures. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, the Spider-Man deal as it is right now ends after Spider-Man 3 and one other Avengers movie, or any other team up in the MCU. So there's essentially 2 more films where we can have a Tom Holland Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of right now. I've been claiming since the day this deal was struck that this would get extended.
Yeah.
Because of course it is. They are throwing money in the air, and it is like magnetically coming right back to them, but somehow there's more of it. It's like this deal is the most profitable thing these 2 companies have going. Yeah. There's no way it's ending.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah, so this is a rumor, I believe.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. I mean, yeah, I'm sure within like the week we'll probably get like this confirmation because it's a rumor going around. Yeah.
I guarantee that by the time we get the Spider-Man 3, we will know what's going on with this movie as well.
Yeah.
With the future movies as well. They are also claiming that it looks like Spider-Man is going to play a pivotal role in the MCU moving forward. Yeah, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean,
there's Marvel and there's Spider-Man, and they are the same thing.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not being condescending, but like, yeah, of course he's going to be a pivotal role. He's the highest selling Marvel character ever.
Yeah.
That would be like putting out a statement that's like, yeah, we just want to make it very clear that Batman will be important to the DC universe moving forward. And everyone would be like, yeah, of course he is.
He pretty much is.
He's the only one who still makes money.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry, but the comics are not selling well. If you guys, friends, if your local comic book shop is open, please go buy comics from them. You know what? Or just go buy Funkos, whatever you buy, whatever you collect. Go to your local comic book shop and support them. They're probably having a hard time right now. And local comic shops are an important thing to my happiness. So if you want me to be happy personally, just go pick up a comic. If you don't read comics, go pick up a trade. Maybe what's a good starting trade for people? Go read Y the Last Man. Excellent book. It's about to be a television series on HBO, and it is a worthwhile read. Y the Last Man is an incredible graphic novel. Also, if you want something, I want to also throw out something that is written by a female creator. So go read Lumberjanes. It is an excellent 100 female created comic that is an absolutely award-winning, like, incredible experience to read. Definitely highly recommend Lumberjanes. I think I might start doing more comic recommendations on here.
Yeah, go for it.
And start talking about some more comic stuff, because we don't really talk about comics because it's tough right now. A lot of comics have been canceled until the pandemic's over. But yeah, definitely go read Lumberjanes if you haven't. It is a really wonderful slice of life kind of story with a female creative team, which we love to support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Dark Dispatch actually brings up our next story. Dark Dispatch, you're ahead of me on this. For those of you who don't know, when you have a streaming service, you actually have to make deals with television providers to have apps on their smart TVs. So in this case, HBO Max has premiered, but there are many different devices that you weren't able to get it on, including Roku TVs, which is what we have in our house. We are a Roku household currently.
Yeah.
Granted, we also have... it's not important. But you, if you had a Roku TV or a Roku stick or whatever, you weren't able to have HBO Max before. And now you absolutely can. Roku and HBO have finally reached a deal to have HBO Max on your Roku television. And this is good for people who have Roku and want to watch the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Also, Wonder Woman. Also, I had a feeling that we were going to start hearing that all of these deals were ironed out in the next 2 weeks before Wonder Woman hits HBO Max.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't actually know that, like, that they had to, like, strike a deal in that sense. I just assumed that,
it's a huge thing.
Cool, interesting.
It's a huge thing because a lot of streaming services are like, we're going to launch March 5th, and the television provider and the smart TV providers are like, not on our service, we are not, because they have to put in the work of putting the app on there.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
And some of these smart TV providers, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're owned by the competition. So they don't want your, like, the Amazon Fire Stick, sometimes it's hard to watch Apple TV on it. I wonder why.
Shocking. Like, who would have thought?
Wait, so you're saying that Amazon hasn't been putting their competition's content on their content? I think Amazon will probably stop doing that. Amazon will have everything on there because Amazon is bigger than their content.
Yeah, for sure.
Because here's the thing, like, no matter what streaming service you have in your household, you probably have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
For deliveries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Amazon is such a huge company now that it's like, you almost can't not have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but
yeah,
not in a pandemic.
Yeah, there's many times where, especially when we were in quarantine, Amazon kind of saved our butts. Because it's like, great, we can get this tomorrow. Like...
Yeah. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but at the same time, like, there's times where I'm like, I need this tomorrow, and I legally cannot go outside.
Yeah. So Amazon. It has its uses. Yeah. It does have its uses.
Yeah. If only we could get them to, like, I don't know, pay their employees better salaries. I don't know.
Yep. That would be nice.
Yep, it would. I did mention the Snyder Cut. The Snyder television program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I say Snyder Cut sometimes in order to help the algorithm because
gotcha.
people are excited, and people should be extra excited because Zack Snyder, in a post on I think Vero, the social media that he's on.
Vero?
Yeah, Vero. It's a social media that launched, and it is essentially just a social media to find out what's going on with Zack Snyder at this point because he's the only person who really uses it. But he responded to someone's post on Vero, And the initial post was about some upset person about the Joss Whedon's Justice League, and in his response he said, "I just hope you can wipe that. I hope I can wipe that version out of existence with what you see in March." So Warner Brothers probably would have liked to have released the date themselves, but according to Zack Snyder himself, it does look like we're going to be getting the Snyder television program in March, maybe.
Oopsie! Like, how do you think he wrote that, or do you think that was like PR people and they just...
No, he 100% wrote that. There's no way that PR people would want to post the date in a negative post.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't want to post the date in a way that is like... Because it is a weird way to announce it, to be like, yeah, that last version is crap, but you can watch my... Like, Warner Brothers does not want their announcement to be tinged with the tone of the post. No. They would want to be like, check out the Snyder Cut, coming March 12th, blah, 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 you know. And I'm not saying it's March 12th. I'm just saying, like, they would want it to be a big positive post with, like, a nice picture. This is
literally a response to someone crapping all over the Justice League.
Saying, destroy every copy, please. And the Snyder television program is just, it's the gift that keeps on giving to me. Because this saga is just kind of hilarious to me at this point. Like, we're finding out through social media posts when it's coming out. Yeah. It's just wild. It really, it's wild, and it's going to come out, and then it will finally be out, and then we can stop talking about it. Yeah. I can't wait for the day.
I'm over it. Like, honestly, I'm like, let's just move on.
I think Zack Snyder could really, like, do the project a favor by not talking about it every day. Yeah. Like, I don't need news about it's gonna be fine. We're all gonna watch it. Yeah. Stop talking about it every day. Yeah. It's not good for the project.
No, it's really not. I'm honestly, I'm so over it.
I know.
I'm like, am I gonna watch this? I mean, I kind of like have to, but I'm really not looking forward to it anymore.
We only have 13 minutes left, and we have so much news. Can we bang, guys? We're going into the banging section.
We got some bangers.
Oh, news bangers. Let's go.
News bangers.
Jumanji actor Kevin Hart reportedly in talks to play Roland in live-action Borderlands movie.
Oh,
have you ever played Borderlands?
No, I haven't.
Well, it looks like Cate Blanchett has already been cast as Lilith, which is huge. Cate Blanchett, they're going after A-list talent for this movie. Very excited for Borderlands. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's going to be a really, really, really cool cast.
That's exciting.
I like the idea of giving Kevin Hart like a legitimate, like, grizzled war hero character and seeing what he does with it. Yeah. Because you know he's jokingly played that part before, but I want to see him actually go for it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And there is a weird comedic streak in the Borderlands series. Okay. So, like, I'm excited to see how they handle that with Kevin Hart.
That's fun.
Ian McKellen has received the COVID-19 vaccine in the UK. Yeah.
Yay!
The 81-year-old actor.
God, he cannot go anywhere. Yeah, he's a freaking treasure.
He says he's in the high-risk group because he's over the age of 80 now, and he says that he feels euphoric about having received the vaccine. So that's a little bit of good news.
I love him.
I know you do.
He's perfect. I'm in the middle of rewatching the Lord of the Rings series right now, and it's just incredible.
It's hard to imagine that he's 81.
I know, right?
Because, like, Days of Future Past doesn't feel that long ago, and he looks so good in that movie. Yeah. It's wild. His brain is still, like, whip crack smart.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
I love him. Hades, what a lot of people are saying should have won Game of the Year, and was Game of the Year in several places, such as Polygon, has announced that they are introducing cross-save for the people who have the Switch version and the PC version. Yeah. Your version will actually cross-save across those two versions. So if you are playing Hades...
if you're sitting on your computer and then, like, you know, you gotta go to the John, you can just put it on your Switch and go play in there. That's pretty much...
Y'all...
Because you're not going anywhere. Like, no one's, like, on their way to work.
That's true. That is true.
I feel like that's literally what it's made for.
Y'all, do you know, I don't want to know, I don't want y'all to know how much of Breath of the Wild I played on the toilet.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have a good idea.
Yeah.
Like...
This might be too much information, and let me know if I should stop talking, but have you ever, like, taken an activity to the toilet, such as your Nintendo Switch, and, like, finished what you were doing, but you weren't done the thing that you're doing in the game, so you just kind of sit there for too long to finish that?
Yep, 100%.
Blyndseer, this is so Doug.
Yeah.
Doug the Riolu, a good friend. Apparently, he and I can commiserate over our toilet time.
Oh my god.
Dax Shepard on his podcast talks about the fact that sometimes he just goes, like, goes and sits on the toilet just to, like, get away from his family so that he has an excuse to just have, like, because he has two young guys. Like, he's like, I just need some alone time.
Yeah.
And then I'm back. Then I'm dad again, but I need, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? The bathroom is the best place to do that because no one's gonna come bothering you.
No. Unless it's us,
an
and then
emergency.
we just...
Or, yeah, we're like, hey!
Hey!
You good?
You good?
Just checking.
That is the most, like, marriage thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Among Us map, the airship, has been somewhat leaked. We were talking about the Switch a second ago. This is also related to the Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. If you buy the new Among Us version that's on the Switch, there is a glitch in it at the moment where you can get onto the new map.
Yeah.
And you can check it out, walk around, and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. You can't really play it yet. It's not fully functional.
Yeah.
There's still some stuff that they're clearly working on. But, they accidentally uploaded the map.
Yeah. Yeah. Oopsie.
Oopsie daisy.
So that's leaked now.
That is leaked. Doug the Riolu in the chat is asking if the Switch version is compatible with PC and mobile. I don't know, Doug. I would assume that it is because PC and mobile are compatible, and I would assume that, but, I don't want to make an ass out of you and me, so I'm not going to make that assumption.
Fair enough.
The follow-up to Marvel's Contest of Champions, the Marvel's Realm of Champions, the mobile game released yesterday, and I downloaded it, and I'm worried that I made a bad decision, because you know how I am with mobile games sometimes.
Yeah,
but thus far, it's really fun. It's almost kind of like, it's almost like a top-down, like, roguelike. Instead of being, like, Contest of Champions, you control your character, and you have, like, your movement stick on the left, and you have your attacks on the right, and you kind of just fight enemies. And thus far, I'm actually kind of really enjoying it. I put about a year and a half of my life into Contest of Champions. I was a big fan of that game. I played it a lot. I ended up deleting it because it just...
Too much time was being spent.
I have to delete mobile games if I start planning when I'm going to sleep around my clock in the game resetting for timers and stuff. That's when I'm like, oh, I've gone too far.
Yeah.
So I deleted Contest of Champions when I was in one of the top guilds and had put in more than a few hours a day into it. And yeah, I had a full-time job at the time, and it was Contest of Champions. I also had a part-time job, and it was not paying my bills.
Wow.
But I'm excited to start this game and give it a try. I think I'm actually going to do a review of it on the YouTube channel.
Great.
Yeah, because I like mobile games, so I think I might start doing some mobile game spotlights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because mobile gaming is gaming too, y'all.
Yeah.
If you're a mobile gamer and you call yourself a gamer, and someone's like, no, you're not a gamer unless you have a PC RTX 3090, don't listen to that person. They
just, like, give them a hug, because they're probably a sad person.
Don't touch them, though, because they might not shower or use deodorant, so... that's true of all people.
Give them the finger guns.
Yeah, give them the finger guns, but do not touch people that you don't know.
That's fair.
Don't.
You know what? That's good advice.
Don't touch people you don't know.
Don't touch strangers.
And don't touch people you do know without their permission.
Yeah, that's true.
Just only touch people when they want to be touched. And you want to touch them.
Yeah.
Consent goes both ways.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talks.
Well, you were like, just give them a hug. And I'm like, if someone is being mean to you, do not just give them a hug. That is a weird...
Yeah.
Because then you're in the wrong. Like, here's the thing. In my hierarchy of what is the wrong thing to do, being mean to someone is below touching someone who you don't know who does not want you to touch them.
That's fair.
Like, I would much rather you said a mean thing to me than you walk up to me and hug me randomly on the street.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. Same.
Rebel Trooper 1 in the chat says, actually stay home and don't touch anyone or anything.
You know what, Rebel? You give some great advice. Thank you.
Rebel Trooper, I think I'm going to follow that advice even after the pandemic's over. I'm just going to stay home. And if you want to interact with me, I'm live on a platform all the time.
Yep, you can find us at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
Or twitch.tv/clarusdracarus. They're never going to be able to spell it from that, but it's right here.
Are you gonna? Oh, it is right there. I was like, are
it's
you gonna
literally
edit
right there.
in?
It's literally, it's always
it is up there.
Right there.
I forgot it was up there. I forgot that was a thing.
If you're listening to the audio version, just go to nerdynightly.com. You can find everything there.
That's true. You good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. I just turned my neck a little bit and it cracked in a way that's not pleasant.
I'm sorry.
There we go. We also are on TikTok. We're going to do more lives on TikTok because...
Yeah, because that was really random.
We get a lot of followers from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Anything else that you want to plug?
Skyrim Saturday. I'm not streaming today or tomorrow on Twitch.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, come find me on Saturday.
Y'all, if you're here, put command mug.
Oh.
Y'all, we are giving away a mug on tomorrow's show. You get to choose if it's a Nerdy Nightly, a Nightly Morning, or a Clarus Dracarys mug. Wait, what? Yeah,
oh, there it is.
Give it 1 second. You are so impatient. We are fake mean to each other on camera in a way that we never are in our normal lives.
I know.
And I feel like sometimes people are going to be like, wow, they kind of have a harsh relationship.
No,
and we don't.
We really don't at all. At all.
We are only mean to each other on camera because it's funny.
Yeah, it's for comedic purposes.
But I don't know if it's funny to them. I think we find it funny.
I hope it's funny to you guys. But yeah, we're giving away a mug tomorrow on the morning show.
We're giving away a mug.
We hit our combined sub goal.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is just enter the raffle. We'll draw that tomorrow at the end of the show. Mm-hmm. And you can pick if you want a Nerdy Nightly one, you want a Nightly Morning Show one, and we'll get that sent off to you.
And that mug link will also be in the details of the podcast feed if you're listening there, and in the YouTube video. Please sign for 1 ticket. You can't have any extras. And there's no balancing towards subscribers or anything like that. It is completely
just a random.
It is a completely everybody gets 1 chance at the mug, and we hope that you join because we are so grateful that you guys got us to 100 subscribers already in December.
Yep.
And when we hit 200, we're gonna do a baking stream, which is gonna be very fun.
Yep. We've got some really cool goals. Is it 300?
If we do 300, we're gonna give away a hoodie.
Yeah.
And if we get to 500 subs for December, which
for both channels combined,
to combine, we are gonna give away a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 to someone who we're gonna do a raffle. And I hope that you don't have a PS4 or Xbox One because that I would feel bad.
We'll get you Valhalla if that's the case or something. You know what I mean?
We'll get you a comparable game.
Yes, exactly.
Ninjatic Slays, thank you for the follow and the biddies.
Thank you.
What a way to end the morning show.
That was a great way to end the morning show.
That was a great way to end the morning show. Y'all, as always, my name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye-bye. Bye.